Hello, everybody. Welcome to our second in our back-to-back Cynispection episodes. We're joined today by our friend Dives, who was in the chat for the prior episode, and now he's here to talk about the menu with us. How's it going, Dives?
Good, guys. What's going on, man? Long time no see.
Yeah, I know, it's been a while. Yeah, excited to talk about this one as opposed to Willow, where we were both like tuned out. We're just like screw it. It almost felt like a chore to watch Willow. The Menu is a movie. It stars Ray Fiennes, Anya Taylor-Joy, and Nicholas Hoult. And it's a really good movie that for some reason came out in theaters, and we were all too busy watching Black Adam or whatever the fuck. Like, what's wrong with us, you know?
Yeah, I think that we only would have. What's crazy is I think the only reason this movie came up for us to watch is because of the award season, and like I feel really shitty about that, honestly, because it was great. Like this was an excellent movie.
Yes. Well, why did you watch it, Dives? Like I watched it because I saw it on HBO Max, and I was like, "That's a great cast." Like I was like, yeah.
So I actually remember watching the trailer, and I remember watching it when Loretto showed me, because I'm like always the last one to find out about movies. And he showed me the trailer on one of our shows a long time ago, and it looked really interesting. And then I forgot about it for months, many months. We don't go see movies in the theater ever, whatever. So I put out on Twitter, like, what movie would you guys recommend? And someone said The Menu, and I remember like hearing about the movie, but I don't remember what it was about. So my wife and I, we watched the movie, and I think it made it better, because I had no idea like what was happening. And as the kind of suspense built throughout the movie, I was waiting for like cannibalism. I was waiting for like a supernatural component. I had no idea where the movie was going. And as someone who loves to cook, someone who watches Chef's Table, like Burnt, Chef, one of my favorite movies of all time, like this movie really vibed with me. I was all in. I love the message, like Nicholas Holt's character. Like, as someone who like pretends to be like an NFL draft analyst, I totally connected with that dude, how fake he was. It was awesome. It was a great film.
Yeah. I thought about you like yeah, because you're I don't know if you would call yourself a foodie or whatever, but you enjoy cooking and food, and it's like, yeah, this is kind of a fuck you to like.
Well, this is like I've eaten at a lot of pretty pretentious restaurants at this point in my life. And this makes me think of a lot of them. Like, eat this way, do it like this. We have to give you like some giant like exculpatory, like exculpatory thing, like to tell you why this is the greatest food in the world. And it's like, if you have to be told that over and over, like, is it really that great? And I love the like spoilers. Her eating the hamburger at the end of the movie is like the best part of the movie ever.
It reminded me of like Ratatouille, when he brought the critic a dish of ratatouille, and it brought him back to his fonder memories of being a child and what it means to like have that comfort food and its connection to memories and innocence and all of that kind of stuff. And that's what it brought me to. I love that moment. It was really, really well done. This movie was such a surprise.
That's true. It's just like Ratatouille. Holy crap. I didn't think about it until you said it. But yeah, pretty much it's a very similar ending. Yeah, it's true. Would you classify this as a horror movie? It's a bit of a horror comedy.
It's a dark comedy is what it should be classified as.
Yeah.
I would definitely like, if we did like a horror movie draft, I would add this on there. I'm good with that. Like,
yeah, right? Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely horror elements. Where like the guy, you have like the one guy that's like hung or like dropped into the water, and it's like that almost reminded me of.
I thought that. I thought that there were definitely like, so my wife won't watch any horror movies, so she would not watch this with me, and I was like, it's so fucked up, but it's so good. Like they're killing all of these people for really good reasons, honestly. So yeah.
Dude, did you not like? I only have like 2 more minutes. Did you not like? Many times throughout the film, just like I'm yelling at these characters, like they're literally just these pansies that sit around and just critique everyone except for themselves.
Yeah.
And in that moment, like it was almost had horror vibes. Like do something where they just sit there and do nothing. Like they're waiting to be the next meal.
Yeah.
And I'm just yelling at the TV screen, like, right now, take that knife and just start stabbing people.
Well, that's the point.
He even acknowledges it. He acknowledges it.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
Ray
like, why
Fiennes,
aren't you doing anything?
Like, you could have done more. And you're like, right now, covered in marshmallows with a
Yeah.
chocolate hat. And like, when we did this all around you, you weren't tied up. You were just like here.
But that goes to show, like, that's just another level of their pretentiousness, right? Is that they're so pretentious that they don't want to miss out on the next course. Like, they're sitting there for the food.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that guy literally sitting there, and he's watching everybody be slaughtered around him, and he knows that he's gonna die, but he's just sitting there eating. He's like, "Oh my god, this blah 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 blah." It's like, oh my, like
yeah, they just live in their own bubble. They have no idea like what's happening around them. Really cool like messages on like social media and all that kind of shit. And I'm like, basically as a foodie, like I love to cook food, but like I'll eat a can of SpaghettiOs tomorrow. I don't give a shit. Like, it's all that kind of like I love wine, but like the whole wine connoisseur thing, I've never been interested in. Like, just give me wine in a box, man. Like,
well, Dives, last question for you before you leave.
Yeah,
you have to leave. But would you pay $12.50 for a meal per person?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, I don't understand.
And $1,250.
Oh, yeah. $1,250. Never.
Oh,
that's what they paid, right? I think they said $12.50 per person. Right?
Yeah, so I misunderstood. I would never, ever, ever, ever do that. The most expensive meal I ever bought in my life was in Las Vegas. The Bellagio is the one with the fountains, right? We went to a steak joint for a bachelor party. It was like in this dimly lit restaurant. It was like over $100 a plate for a fucking piece of steak and a pepper and a bottled water. It was like the most expensive bill I've ever seen in my life.
One day I went
of it. I would never go beyond that.
Ever. I mean, I've done Michelin star where there's literally like you get 17 pieces of sushi and like and you're spending, $250, $300 a person on it. So I would do it. Yeah.
I went to a restaurant one day, like it was a steakhouse, and the steak, just the steak, like no sides, nothing, was $100.
Gabe, we've been to El Gaucho. Yeah, they have like
this was more than Gaucho, but it was because let me tell you this little detail. It was $100 for the steak, and then they're like, if you want to add butter on top, and they'll bring a blowtorch and burn it. $12 for butter, just for butter.
Yeah,
and then the side was like $20. it was like what the hell?
Yeah. No. I'm pretty proud of the food I can make. Like, I'm good. I can make a pretty good steak.
Home cooking all the way.
Yeah.
Amen, man. But yeah, invite me on your next show, man. Last of Us. If you want to guess.
That's
yeah. We'll let you know.
All right. Have a good night.
Thanks for joining, Debs.
Bye.
Yeah.
So I think that everything was done very well in this movie, though. That's why. And I mean, it was framed after Noma, the restaurant. If you've never heard of Noma, it's a 3-star Michelin restaurant. And the whole idea behind it is a week or two, usually a week before you go dine at Noma, your chef calls you and they forage for most of your food. Like that's the whole thing. So everything is like locally sourced and foraged by the people at Noma. And it's a very like crazy idea. And I think they're shutting down now, but
there's several like that. There's one in Seattle.
Yeah.
There's one in Seattle that I don't remember the name, but there's one in Seattle. Like there's several of these like obnoxious foodie kind of restaurants.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, it's funny because like, I can imagine like being a screenwriter and you're in this restaurant. You're just like, what's up with these people, you know, like they're all douchey or whatever. Like, what if the chef just lost his fucking mind and like just killed them all after torturing them for 4 hours? You know, because he said it was a 4 hour.
Yeah. Well, and he picked every single person out that he wanted to be there,
except for Margot Erin.
Margot. Yeah.
Her name, she reveals her name is Erin. I guess we're spoiling. Hopefully you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, like honestly, go back and watch it, because again, I wanted to talk, my biggest interest with this one was not just the quality of the film, but it was also like why didn't we watch this one, John? Like you and I, we watched a lot of movies. I guess part of it is because you and I are too busy watching like Broken Arrow and
Yeah, I mean,
New York Ninja.
I think that is part of it. Another part of it is that this, came out when a lot of other hyped movies were coming out. Like you said, Black Adam. This came out the same week as Black Adam, right? Or right around that time.
No, I mean, I said Black Adam as a joke, but actually this one came out November 18th. And Black Adam came out like in October. So it wasn't, I just said Black Adam just
Yeah,
you know what?
joke, yeah.
You know what probably came out of that around that time? Might have been Black Panther.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I mean, Black Adam, Black Panther, in this case, they're just superhero blockbusters. Like it doesn't have to be. It's nothing to crap on Black Adam more than we'd crap on any other blockbuster movies. Just like we were just watching those movies, and there's these like little jewels.
Yeah.
It came out 1 week after Black Adam. On Thanksgiving weekend. So, could have watched it. It was released alongside She Said. I watched She Said that weekend. So that makes me feel better, because She Said was really good too. You should watch it when you get a chance. So what about Ralph Fiennes? What an actor,
Yeah, he is so good. He is really, really good. I mean, in this, he is diabolical, and it's like amazing. And
he's even more diabolical here than he was when he was playing Voldemort. I feel, like he was more evil here than Voldemort.
But this is the type of role that I think he does best in, to be honest. Like,
so you're saying this is better than the Avengers 1990s Avengers?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that when he chooses his roles correctly, they're amazing. Versus like, he's in the Kingsman, and that's fine. It's a big blockbuster.
He was good.
Yeah, I'm sure he was good. It pays the bills, but like he's a minor character versus here where he actually gets to flex some of his like real acting ability. And he's really good.
And people are not talking like Nicholas Hoult in this one as much.
Mm-hmm.
But he was really, really good in this.
Yeah, he was super annoying. I hated him.
He was annoying and obnoxious and kind of like, but also he had like the nice guy who's a douchebag.
Yeah,
because he acts like the movie sort of like churns it on you, because you at the beginning assume that he's the guy you need to follow, not Anya Taylor-Joy, and then the movie sort of twists that.
Well, and also you don't. It's very strange because you start the movie and you think that they're like dating. Right. And then you get to the fact that, okay, he was supposed to go to this dinner with somebody else. And because they talk about the name cards being switched. And then like, you don't get until basically I think the end of the second act probably is when you find out that she shouldn't be there and why she shouldn't be there. And it's kind of like the climax that are leading into it.
Right, exactly. And it's like I like movies. We were talking about this with Willow. Like I like movies where the final confrontation, and this wasn't an action movie or anything, so I don't know if this is the best way to explain my point, but like when the confrontation is like the hero or the protagonist, let's call them, outsmarting the definitely smarter villain,
Yeah.
Like it's not like the villain is supposed to be a force to be reckoned with, and they're better, and they're so in order to face the villain, the main person has to like learn something new, which could be like a new fighting style, like think like Karate Kid or Rocky or something, or be smarter than them.
Well, in this case, you think that she's going to save everyone, but she just saves herself.
Well, she realizes, like,
he's
fuck
not.
these
Yeah, if
people.
she didn't leave at that moment, he was going to kill her too. So, I mean, the cooler piece is that she even thinks to ask for it to go, and he lets her.
And he brings it to her in like a
Yeah.
little box. And the burger looked great, by the way. All the food looked really good.
Yeah, I mean, the food did look excellent.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's a part of it, I think. It made me think about that movie Chef. Did you see it? With
Chef is one of my favorite movies. I love Chef, honestly.
We should review that because I barely remember it.
Have you watched the Chef show on Netflix?
No. I'm
so
not.
Chef
I'm not
is the story of Roy Choi, who's the cook, who like actually it's loosely based on his story. He met Jon Favreau on the set of like Iron Man 2. Like he brought his food truck around, and so the Chef show is him and the chef that Chef is based off of, and they just cook food together, and it's like all like low key great food.
Right.
But yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. What else is there to say, I guess, about the menu? I mean, it's I guess my reflection would be, remember that these movies exist. Stop like focusing only on the next big thing. Like people are mostly just rushing to the theater to watch. Like as much as we liked Avatar, like people rush to watch Avatar, but nobody rushed.
And this is on a streaming service that you already pay for, so like I definitely give it some.
But I
watch it.
I wish I would have seen it in theaters. I wish I would have. Like this would have been a good experience in theaters, and I just, I thought like I had no idea I didn't watch a single trailer of it. Nothing. Like
so before we started watching it, because I was like, watch it. Before I started watching it the other night, I read a 2-second synopsis and I got through like the first line of what it was about. And I was like, no, this seems really good. I just want to watch it. So I dropped it. And so I was pretty fresh going into it, other than like a very small line. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I didn't know anything. I didn't even know what the genre was. I thought it was going to be like, because the poster's kind of like, it kind of looks like a comedy.
Yeah, it does look like a comedy,
but with a dark twist. Like if you look at it like just quickly, it looks like a comedy. But then when you like look at it like a bit like more than a second, you realize like there's something weird going on with the people behind Ralph Fiennes. And then you look at Ray Fiennes, and you look at Ray Fiennes' face, and he looks like he's about to murder you. And you're like, okay, so this is not a comedy. Yeah, this is not a normal comedy. And the director, I don't know how you pronounce his last name, Mark Milod. He actually directed several episodes of Game of Thrones.
Interesting. He wasn't the original director on it there, and she wasn't the original actress on it either. Anya Taylor-Joy was supposed to be Emma Stone, and Alexander Payne was originally supposed to direct it.
I'm glad he didn't. I mean, nothing against Alexander Payne, but I don't know if this was like the right film for him.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been, honestly.
Although interestingly enough, I feel like this should be getting more awards recognition than it's getting. It's not getting that much. Like didn't win a single Golden Globe. And only had a couple of nominations for acting. Like I think at this point we know the movies that are going to be there in the list for Best Picture, like at the Oscars, and I don't think this movie's going to sneak in. We might get a little Anya Taylor-Joy there, or Ralph
you might see somebody win for like Best Actress. I just don't think that they're
not win, not even. I would just
just like get in there as a nominee.
Yeah, great films. This year was an interesting year for film because it felt like people were too afraid to go against the blockbusters. But I'm hopeful that as people start getting more comfortable with going back to the theater, especially older audiences, which I think are the ones that are just not going.
Yeah, I mean we're still going all the time, but
we're not. I mean, older than like in their 50s or 60s, which I think this movie would appeal to them more than a Black Panther or what I mean, or a Black Adam.
Agree.
Yeah, so I think that as that audience, that they don't want to go to the movies to watch Wonder Woman or or Star Wars or whatever. Like they want to go to the movies to watch something like this. When they start getting their comfort level back of going to the theater, hopefully these movies will start doing well again. That's my hope. And if not, hopefully it'll make its money. I think, it was budgeted at 30 million and made 76 million so far. So I think it's probably crossed the line to profitability, or it's close to doing
Yeah, it
that.
should. I can't imagine that it costs that much to make.
30 million. I mean, it's not, on
Yeah.
76 million. So, it's twice the budget than pros marketing. So with what it's going to make from, HBO Max or wherever, people are streaming it on, hopefully it'll make it would be a profitable film. Incredibly deserved, great cast. John Leguizamo again. What did we watch with John Leguizamo like 2 weeks ago? Was it Violent Night? He was in
Oh
Violent
yeah.
Night.
Yeah. That was funny.
He's a good character actor, supporting actor who brings a good like he brings something to every role.
Yeah, he
he
does.
kind of like makes it his own. And then also let's talk about, like, just before we close out, Hong Chow. She played the assistant chef.
Yeah, the sous chef, right?
Yeah, so she was very good in this. She was very creepy, very just you could, but creepy, not in the funny way,
Well,
kind of
she
like
was
in the,
jealous, and like that's what
yeah,
ended up getting her killed. Is she was jealous that Anya Taylor-Joy's character would replace her, like beside the chef in the final like murder scene, I guess.
yes, and it was good. She was. Did you watch the? Remind me. Did you watch the um Watchmen TV series?
Yeah,
She was in it, if you remember. She was
yeah, I do.
Ozymandias' daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She was very good in that. And then I think she's in The Whale, the Brendan Fraser movie.
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
Someone I know said it was really good. We should watch that. You love Brendan Fraser.
I love Brendan Fraser. So I'm hearing good things about her. I think she's getting some recognition for her performance. So, yeah. So good for her. Good for everybody on this movie. Hopefully more people will watch it. Look forward to people talking about it. I am recommending it to everybody.
Yeah,
I
I
watched
have
like
too.
3 days ago, and yeah. All right. So reminder, if you weren't on, I assume nobody watched these back to back. We are moving to our own channel on YouTube soon, Cynispection channel. So we'll be posting the link to that and everything on Twitter, etc. Tomorrow, I think I don't know, we'll do a show
Yeah,
to
we're
talk
gonna
about
do
The
a
Last
show
of
there,
Us.
yeah.
So make sure you tune in for that. And John, I guess we'll see them very soon.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See you
Goodbye.
soon.